We often hear about famous leaders and inventors like George Washington, Albert Einstein, and Napoleon. But what about those people who quietly changed the course of history, yet never made it into the headlines? Today we are shining a light on the forgotten men who had a profound impact on our world, even though their names are rarely mentioned in the textbooks. Join me as we explore the fascinating stories of individuals who shaped history in remarkable ways, but whose contributions have largely gone unnoticed. History is often written by the victors or by those with the loudest voices. But what about those who worked behind the scenes? While iconic names like George Washington, Napoleon, and Albert Einstein are universally recognized, there are countless others who contributed to a significant historical events and innovations. These men may not have received the recognition they deserve in their lifetimes, but their impact is undeniable and far-reaching. For example, take Stanislav Petrov, a Soviet officer who quite literally saved the world from nuclear war. In 1983, Petrov was on duty when a Soviet missile warning system indicated that 5 nuclear missiles has been launched by the US against the USSR. Protocol demanded that he report this threat, which could have led to a retaliatory nuclear strike and possibly a global annihilation. But Petrov's instinct told him the system was malfunctioning, and he chose not to report it, a decision that prevented a global catastrophe. His calm judgment in the face of unimaginable pressure was vital, yet his story has only recently begun to receive the attention it deserves. Similarly, many people who know about Thomas Edison, but few have heard about Nikola Tesla, the brilliant mind who developed alternating current electricity. Tesla's innovation in electrical engineering laid the groundwork for the modern electrical grid. Yet his work was overshadowed by Edison's fame, and Tesla's died in relatively obscurity. It was only much later that the people began to recognize his extraordinary contributions to science and technology. Now let's dive deeper into some more examples of men whose work changed the world, but whose names have faded into the history. One such man was Ignaz Semmelweis, a Hungarian physician whose discovery in the 1840s dramatically reduced maternal mortality rates. Semmelweis was the first to propose that doctors should wash their hands with chlorinated water before delivering babies, a practice that drastically reduced the incidence of puerperal fever. However, his revolutionary ideas were rejected by the medical establishment of the time, and he spent much of his life ostracized. Today, Semmelweis is hailed as one of the most early pioneers of antiseptic procedures, which have saved millions of lives. Another unsung figure is Alan Turing, the British mathematician who played a critical role in cracking Nazi Germany's Enigma code during the World War II. Turing's work at Bletchley Park is credited with shortening the war by several years, saving countless lives in the process. But Turing's accomplishments were overshadowed by the secrecy surrounding his work, and his life ended tragically after he was prosecuted for homosexuality in 1952, a crime in Britain at the time. Today, his contributions to computing and cryptography are celebrated, and he is considered one of the fathers of modern computer science. In the realm of politics and activism, let's talk about Bayard Rustin. Rustin was one of the most important strategists in the civil rights movement, with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and helping to organize the historic 1963 March of Washington. Despite his significant contributions, Rustin's name was often kept in the background due to his identity as a gay man in the deeply conservative time. It's only in recent years that historians have begun to properly acknowledge his crucial role in the fight for racial justice. stories of these forgotten figures underscore a critical truth. History is not only shaped by the famous names we all recognize, but by the countless others whose work and decisions, often made quietly, have had far-reaching impact on science, technology, politics, and social progress. Stanislav Petrov's decision to trust the instincts rather than the technology in front of him saved millions of lives and prevented untold destruction. His contributions to global peace is unmeasurable, and yet for decades, his role went unrecognized. Nikola Tesla's development of alternating current electricity transformed the way we power cities, homes, and industries. Without Tesla, we wouldn't have the electrical infrastructure we rely on today. Yet, his story remained overshadowed for much of the 20th century. Ignaz Semmelweis' discovery of the importance of hand wash, though rejected in his time, laid the groundwork for modern hygiene practices that saves lives every day. His determination to fight for his ideas, despite widespread rejection, has left a lasting legacy in the medical field. Alan Turing's work in code breaking during the World War II helped turn the tide of the war, and his pioneering work in computer science set the stage for digital revolution. Turing's legacy, once obscured by secrecy and prejudice, is now rightly celebrated for its profound impact in the world. Bayard Rustin's strategic brilliance in organizing protests and shaping the non-violent resistance tactics was crucial for the success of the civil rights movement. His advocacy for human rights extended far beyond racial justice, and his story is an inspiration for those who fight for equality and the fairness today. Why is it so important to remember and recognize these forgotten figures? For one, it gives us more complete and accurate understanding of history. By acknowledging the contributions of unsung heroes, we honor the diversity of voices and perspectives that have shaped our world. Furthermore, recognizing these men challenges the often narrow narrative of history that tends to focus solely on a few prominent figures, usually those in position of power or privilege. Many of the people we discussed face significant barriers, whether due to their social status, their sexual orientation, or simply the fact that their contributions didn't align with the dominant narrative of their time. Consider how many more contributions to science, technology, and social progress have gone unnoticed simply because they came from people's society marginalized. By shedding light on these stories, we are reminded that anyone, regardless of their background, has the potential to make a significant impact in the world. As we reflect on the stories of these forgotten figures, it's crucial to consider how their legacies can inspire us today. What lessons can we learn from their perseverance, creativity, and courage? How can we carry on their work in our own lives and communities? The lives of people like Petrov, Tesla, Semmelweis, Turing, and Rustin teach us the value of questioning the status quo, standing up for our beliefs, and never giving up on the pursuit of knowledge and progress. Their stories encourage us to look beyond the surface and dig deeper into the hidden histories that have shaped our world. It's also important to continue searching for other unsung heroes whose stories remain untold. Whether in science, technology, politics, or social justice, there are countless individuals whose contributions deserve recognition but have been overlooked. By celebrating their achievements, we not only honor their legacy but also broaden our understanding of history and the many ways it's made. And as always, thank you for joining me on this journey through the lives of forgotten men who changed the course of history. If you found this video informative, give me a thumbs up. That's the best way to support my channel. And consider subscribing to the channel for more content on history, research, and creativity. And remember, history is made by many, not just a few who are remembered. Let's continue to uncover and celebrate the stories of those who have shaped our world in ways both big and small. If you know of any other unsung heroes whose stories deserve to be told, share them in the comments below. I will see you in the next video.